no one's buying from you, and you are confused. But it's really quite simple. I think you already know this. They don't see you. They don't get you when they do see you, so they don't choose you. So, of course, they don't buy your offer. So, what's really going on around here? Why is it you are not doing the things that you know that you need to do? Yes or yes? You know this already. You think maybe, and these are some thoughts that are probably coming up or maybe have come up in the past, and you think, oh, I'm just not good enough, right? Maybe I'm just not working hard enough. If I could just tackle this little procrastination little habit that I've got, or it's the economy now, the holiday, or the season. Or my favorite is I just am not experienced enough. I just simply don't know enough. And then what happens? So you're in a holding pattern, and as a result, you are over educating, and those amazing clients that you seek don't know you exist, so they don't know what it is that you stand for. Like, know you. We need to know who you are before we purchase today. And then what do you actually do? And I don't even know if you can actually help me. So what's really going on here? All of this is simply because you are afraid. Now, that as well is probably not a surprise. So when you know all of the things that you know, why do you still not do the things that you know you need to do? So we know fear can't be the full answer. You're smart, and I have this exact same question. What the hell is going on? If I'm so smart, why do I feel so dumb, right? My name is Pamela Dale, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I finally was able to crack the client code and figure this out. Why is it that I could do all of the things that I needed to do to build a business, but yet I was not? There had to be something bigger at play, right? Don't you think that as well? Like, what is it that I am missing? It's like this veil that's here. I can kind of see through it sometimes. And then all of a sudden, whoop, there it is. And what if I told you it simply is this? It's the way your brain is wired. You have two sides to you. And you kind of know this as soon as I said that, right? You're like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense, Pamela, right? Because you start on Monday and you set all of these amazing goals and you're going to do it. And you get the gumption up again and you're like, yes, this is the week. And Friday rolls around and you're in a puddle of absolute tears. What happens? Something is happening. It's not your fault. Let's go there. I thought that this was something that I could never ever figure out, that there was something inherently wrong with me because I am smart, because I could do the service. I can do the service that I was wanting to sell, but I just couldn't figure it out between Monday and Friday. What happened? And I would start to skid into a psychological dilemma. Do it, don't do it. Yes, no. Oh my God, what? And I was back and forth and back and forth. And it is simply this. There are two sides to your brain. There is the survival brain in the back, and it's so lovely that it's in the back because it is your amygdala and it only thinks about right now or what's happened in the past. It can only see backwards, right? And this is the survival brain. And it has a motivational triad. What do I mean by that? There are three things that it wants to do, wants you to do, and wants to happen all day, every day. Let me show you my little diagram. This is it. I call it the 3 E's. There is always this part of your brain seeking the 3 E's all the time. Enjoyment, it's going to pursue what feels good. That's why you kick over to social media. That's why you eat the cookie. That's why you end up on Netflix, right? When you know that there's things to do. It's looking for ease. It wants you to avoid any unnecessary struggle. And the final one is efficiency. It wants you to do the least possible to get it done. So can you start to see the fear kicks in, which is normal. You are not wanting to work in a job that gets you, just basics covered and watch football or whatever all the time You are here because you have goals. You are wired differently. For some reason, you can't settle into what you've all seen, had in the past. You want something different, but your survival brain, the survival motivational triad, is going to kick in. And you have to believe me when I tell you this. It is not you. It is your brain this way. It is wired to protect you. And a business is not in that little part of your brain's best interest. It isn't. It is looking for you to just calm down. We don't know what's going to happen. Bob over there could come at you, or you could be embarrassed, or God forbid you get out there and you fail and somebody sees you. That's why your brain kicks in. And what does it kick in with? What do you think it kicks in with? It kicks in with all of those amazing thoughts that you run, either aware or unaware, they are running, and you absolutely kick into them. Your brain is going to feed you them like spaghetti. It's like, here, Pamela, you're right. This isn't going to work. So your brain kicks into all of these thoughts. Now, of course, I've got 1,000 of them. What if I fail? People will judge me if I put myself out there. I can't afford to make a mistake. I need to play it safe. There's not enough work, not enough clients. If I charge more, no one will come. I have to say yes to every opportunity or I'm going to lose out. I'm not ready yet. I need to learn more first. I start when things calm down. I don't want to try. I can't fail. This isn't just who I am. I just can't do this. This is just inherently something wrong with me, right? And on and on and on. This is your past throwing thoughts that it knows have worked in the past to get you to calm the fuck down and go and watch Netflix. That's what it's doing. Now, if you're like me, I was mad when I found this out. Why has nobody taught me this? Why is this not taught in school? Because the school is teaching you to be an employee and you don't need to do all this. You just need to follow directions. You don't need to think. The world has taught you what to think, not how to think. And it has fed you these. You have fed you these. The movies, TV, society, your family, church, school, everything has taught you these thoughts. And they've never said to you, hey, why don't you question whether or not that thought works for you today? Because as a business owner, you need to question every single thought that you have and decide whether or not that is still working for you. So what does this have to do with people buying or not buying from you? Can you see where I'm coming from? They're not buying from you because they can't see you. And then when you are out there, you're not all of you. You're only stepping your little baby toes into the water. You're not coming in as all of you that needs to be out there so they can see you and your values and what you stand for and how you can actually solve my fucking problems. So you will have no buyers, or you will have the fearful buyers that are as afraid as you are. What? Imagine that level of power. You are so powerful, but you don't know you're running on a survival motivational triad. What if I told you there's a Thrival motivational triad? Let's take a look at it. 3 more E's. It wants you to expand and pursue meaningful growth. It wants you to exert. It wants you to direct your efforts where it counts and endure. Absolutely endure. In business, you'll hear it say resilience, right? Face discomfort to grow stronger. This is what you signed up for, and your brain is going to kick in back here and go. Now, what part of the brain is this, do you think? It's the one that steps in on Monday morning. It's this one. It's the prefrontal cortex. Imagine it being out front, seeing, vision. The back one, the amygdala, the survival motivational triad, only thinks now. It isn't interested in tomorrow. It's trying to keep us safe right now. So that's why when you are at the grocery store and you're a mom and you have a 5-year-old, you know dinner's at home. You know that the little 5-year-old screaming for the candy bar. It just wants a candy bar. It doesn't know dinner's coming. It doesn't know it's going to make him sick. It doesn't know it's going to make him cranky. Doesn't know. It doesn't see. Doesn't care. Just wants the candy bar. That's your back. The front one is like, we got dinner at home. It's going to be okay. 5 minutes from now, you can endure a little bit of hunger. Is this starting to really sink in? Because for me, this was so life changing. You mean I actually am not batshit crazy? What? So then, how do I do this? What does this look like? It is not for the faint of heart, because if you are, like I say, as sick as I was, meaning my brain had such ingrained thoughts that they turned into firm beliefs that I swear that's how the world worked. I swear I was the problem. So what happens when you think you're the problem? You take yourself out. Yes, I know. What? I wouldn't have been here if I had not figured this out, if I had not been introduced to this and understood to get a hold of my thinking. So this is what we call your comfort zone. You've heard this over and over and over again. Just stay in your comfort zone. This is actually where your brain wants to sit. And it's always looking for this comfort, its safety, and its quickest way out of discomfort, right? So to build a business, you must move past this. And to do that, you need to step out of this very well-worn path of survival and consciously start to choose growth, effort, resilience, even when it feels uncomfortable. So how do you do this? You take it one intentional step at a time, and you must start with, why are you doing this? Why are you throwing yourself, your amygdala thinks, to the wolves, right? Why are you putting yourself out there? You must have a vision, a goal, a why that is big. At first, it's money. At first, we're really just heading away from, oh my God, I could be homeless. And then you will switch eventually, and you'll start to move into these other reasons, and you'll need something bigger than the amygdala in the back, bigger than the fears that you've got and the thinking that you've got, so that you could then move into the future. This is absolutely where you must live all the time. You must move from where you are right now into the future with your prefrontal cortex by setting a very clear vision and why for your business. You must define, what does thriving look like for you? We're going into the Thrival Motivational Triad. Is it financial? Is it emotional? Is it physical? What is it that drives you, that's going to give you that real secret dream that you've got in your, tucked away in your heart, that feels greedy, that feels all of those things? Can you hear the Survival Motivational Triad kick in? That's the one that's saying it's greedy, not anyone else. Who cares what anyone else thinks, right? You've got to set these meaningful goals that are going to excite you and challenge you. Next, you're going to stop learning right now. Put it down. I did last year. I bought nothing, absolutely nothing. I said, that's it. I need to go with what I already know. I am already ready, and go and start talking to people. And you could go small, or you could just go for it, right? You just run at something. It is so important to, because the survival brain's going to kick up. It's going to deal you some thoughts from the past. It's just going to flip them out there, and you're going to go, thank you. Is that useful? Is that helpful right now? No, it's not. Okay, what can I choose to think instead? Boom, done. You need to also focus on building skills and relationships and systems that are going to compound over time. You must prioritize long-term over short-term. You must think ahead. You must build a business thinking ahead. This is why people buy shitty software. They don't even think the business is going to work. They're not thinking long-term. So you must absolutely direct your effort also where it counts. And it counts in these systems. It counts in these activities that are directly going to move the needle for you. Client outreach, improving your offers, refining your messaging, getting better at copywriting. You don't need to be better at web design, my lady. No, you do not. And then you must plan your time and your energy to align with your goals. No more multitasking, no more distraction. Phone down. You must commit fully to one task at a time, and you must put it on the calendar, because your prefrontal cortex makes the plans on Monday. Remember what happens by Friday. The amygdala has kicked in and said on Tuesday at 3 o'clock, when you said you were going to reach out for clients, oh, isn't it interesting? Something else has filled the slot. You got up. You moved. Social media. You let a client come in. You let something interfere with your own goals. This is up to you. This is why you are where you are, but you are so powerful. You can turn the ship, and you must measure where you are. I get on the scale every day so that I know where my weight is at. I look at my bank account every day so I know exactly where it's at. You must measure. You must wake yourself up. Push yourself to open the bank account. Let the amygdala run off on its own. You know it's coming. You know it's doing it. It's good. Gotcha. Thank you for sharing. That doesn't work for me today. That's actually okay number. I can do this about it. And next, you must reframe your fear of failure and recognize it as simply, I hate the word actually, I don't know, did it come from school? Maybe, the big red F, right? But it's not failure, it's just experience. Where did that come from? The world that is out there doesn't want you to grow. So let's just throw failure out there like a big horrible thing that's going to tear your soul apart when it actually doesn't. It's simply learning. And you know this, you hear this stupid things about riding a bike, and we've all heard these, right? But in business, it's because the amygdala kicks in and just goes, hey, that's not. And your prefrontal cortex just knows better. It's the adult in the situation. So this is really, really important. And then just cultivate habits that support your mental health and emotional strength. You probably need someone to help you dismantle some of that thing. I know I do. I have 2 coaching calls a week. I got one right after I record this because let's find out what thoughts there. I don't even know they're there because they are so ingrained in my psyche and so deep that the brain doesn't, I don't even know they're there sometimes until I see the results. When I look at the results and I didn't get the goals that I wanted this week, I didn't do the things I said, what thought came in? What thought came in? You know it was a thought. I know it was a thought, right? And then there are no $1 million overnight businesses. You've got to be in for the long haul. You've got to do this for 5 years. And if you're going to do it for 5 years before you quit, you know what? You would win. That's it. You're just going to win. So why don't you want to go for 5 years? Because it's going to be hard. But you went to university for a degree that cost you $100,000 and you came out with an education that will not even get you a job to cover the loan that it took to get the education. Are you willing to do 4 years in your own business? It's absolutely the answer, right? You must determine there are 2 of you. There's a 5-year-old and there is a grown-ass adult, and you need to put the adult in charge. You've heard her. She's just way over here in the dark in the background because you've ignored her. You might not even hear her. Yours could be so strong. Vaguely. And then I just built this. I just did this over and over and over again. You notice this one didn't move? She's not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. This is the one. This is the one that needs the reps. And this actually is a good one to have because you know what? One day there will be something I need to be afraid of. Okay. Do I need to be afraid to put a post out on the internet? No. See where I'm going with this? You need help to discover your thought process because your Survival Motivational Triad is going to kick in. If you want to talk more about that, go ahead, drop a line down below. There's a book. If I'm so smart, why can't I get clients? It's cracking the code to finding and working with these amazing clients. And it talks about all of these things and all of the tactics that you need as well. But you need you first. And you've been missing. And that, right back to the top. Why are people not buying? Because you have been missing in your business.